Hey there. Okay, here we go.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Ukulele on the Ground podcast live. Joining me, Mr. Aaron, the voice.
Wait.
What's up, Aaron? Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Ukulele on the Ground podcast live. My name is Aldrine Guerrero. Joining me are Mr. Aaron, the voice. Nakamura, say what's up, Aaron?
What's up?
And Mr. Kauai, the legend. Fergan, say what's up, Kauai?
What's up?
Ooh, right off the bat, our rubber bands are already showing.
Yes.
Was it not recording? What happened?
Yeah, last Friday we had like a little bit of a change, so I had to change our setup back to the way it was. And
See, you know, it's when you're actively doing stuff that's when things go wrong, Kai. That's why I never leave my couch. You know, like
should just not try.
When people actively do things, they're like, oh, I sprained my ankle, or I did this, or broke my leg, or whatever. Mm-hmm. Not me, who's just sitting on my couch. You know, like nothing ever happens, Kai. Mm-hmm. Now, welcome everyone. This is a place where we talk everything and anything ukulele, or everything outside of that as well. Sometimes, you know, it feels like if you guys got questions on ukulele, we have not answers but opinions. So if you got Q's, we got O's for those Q's. I'll give you my best 2 cents on whatever your question is. These two guys will provide their own 2 cents, and we'll come up with the best 6-cent answer just for you. So Kauai, what do you want to talk about?
Yeah, we had a question actually from last week that I missed. I skipped over when we were asking you questions from the chat, and I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
So I want to say that this person's name is Mere, but I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce it. But they said, I was at Monopolele in Italy last year, and maybe again this year. Hope to meet you. What are essential things you take with you to festivals?
Oh, that's a good one. You know, like what do you take with you to a festival? It's really cool because we just came from a festival yesterday. Like we had the first Kauai Ukulele Festival. There's other ukulele festivals that have been on Kauai, but this is the one that's called the Kauai Ukulele Festival. It was fun. Honestly, like just bring whatever, you know, like whatever you feel like bringing. It, you know, usually the essentials are like ukulele. As long as you bring that, you should be like in good hands, you know? And sometimes not even then, if your intention is to go there looking for an ukulele, like you might not want to come with an ukulele because you don't want to be carrying 2 ukuleles after you buy the one that you tend to buy or whatever. So it really just depends on what you're there for. If you're there, you know, to just kind of enjoy yourself, not really play or anything, and you just want to, you know, enjoy the festival, watch the performances, meet people, talk, try out the ukuleles at the festival. If there's any vendors or booths or anything like that, you don't even have to bring anything. You just bring yourself, you know. Because if you're holding an ukulele and you don't have one of those shoulder kind of, you know, over the shoulder straps, and you're carrying it in your hand, if you're gonna try out an ukulele, you're gonna have to put that thing down and then try out the ukulele and then put that ukulele down and grab your ukulele. There are moments that you're going to be jamming with people. That's why I feel like it is essential to bring an ukulele, because you just never know. It is like a gathering of a bunch of ukulele people. You know, the one that we had yesterday, definitely a huge plus to bring your own ukulele, because after the festival was over, Kimo Hussey did a play along with everybody alongside the Kanikapila project. Yeah, it was really cool. So, in that case, it's super fun if you have your own ukulele. Sometimes people have multiple ukuleles that they bring, so like find a person that does that, or you can always pick up a new ukulele or whatever. It's essential, but it's not that essential, I guess, because I've been to the one at Kapiolani, like the ukulele festival over there, and even like the ukulele picnic while I was living on Oahu, and I didn't have an ukulele with me, and it was fun. Like I had a great time, I just talked story with the people. I just watched the performances. I went to the booths, and that was kind of good for me because it was hassle free. I didn't have to like worry about like, oh, where'd my ukulele go, or where I put it down or whatever, or it's gonna get scratched up if I don't bring a case and whatnot. So it just depends, But the minimum is just bringing yourself and maybe a wallet too, because you're probably gonna buy something, Because if it's not a new ukulele, it's some kind of ukulele shirt, some kind of ukulele keychain or sticker, something to like remember the event. I'm usually not one for tchotchkes and stuff, but if it's something that I feel pretty close to, I would like to to have some kind of memorabilia about it, even if it's just like a sticker that I put in my case or whatever. Like, hey, I attended this. The sticker cost me like $3, $5 max if it's like a big sticker, something like that would be pretty cool. But then again, you have tons of stuff like, oh, I forgot I needed a like a new humidifier, or like check out this cool new tuner. I kind of want to get that. There's like little accessories and things that you might want to go home with. But let's kind of discuss the things that usually happen at festivals. Sometimes there's a jam. Good idea to bring an ukulele. Most of the time, there's workshops. Good idea to bring an ukulele. And if you're going to a workshop, if you intend on going to a workshop, or if you already signed up for a workshop, maybe bringing some tools for the workshop is a good thing as well. Like, if you have a notebook or a binder like that you might have to take notes if you need to take notes. Maybe your phone has a recording. Every phone should have, but if you don't want to use that, if you use like one of those pocket recorder things, that might be something that you want to bring. I always advise to record all the workshops that you go to, because that's if you sign up for a workshop, that's yours basically. At least from what I believe, like you should have access to that workshop anytime, anywhere, at least the audio of it. So like, any kind of recording thing, anything to take notes with, if there's music that you're working on, that would be really good, or something to write with, because if they give handouts, if they give music, you can always like write notes on the handouts and on the music. That's a good idea. If you're the type of person that needs like, your ukulele stand or whatever, like bring that too. If the event is not that big that you could go to your car, maybe you can leave some of that stuff in your car and then like just pick it up when you need it for whatever workshop that you're doing. But there's a bunch of different scenarios. Honestly, it just depends what you're looking to do at a festival. But festivals, really basic is just at the most basic form, just go there, talk to people, watch the show, have fun. Like, that's it. And you don't really need anything for to do that, to enjoy yourself, really, right? Just bring a good attitude. Maybe like that's what I should say. Bring a good, fun, kind, and caring attitude, and you should be golden. Yeah. I think because there's gonna be tons of people there, and if you bring a good attitude and be friendly and stuff, you'd be surprised how much friends you can make like in a day.
Yeah, I think something you pointed out is you can even like not bring a uke, so you don't have to worry about like putting it down. And then it's like that. I think that's also like an important part to consider is like, I think a lot of people might go to their first festival and they're like, I'm gonna bring my best like ukulele, my most expensive ukulele or something, but it's like which is fine, and that's great. You can like bring it and have fun like showing it to other people.
Yeah,
or, like,
you want to show it off. Yeah, some people want to show it off.
But if like that is gonna worry you about like, oh, where did I put it or something,
or
you can bring
scratched and stuff.
Yeah. It might be better to just bring like a ukulele that's maybe like cheaper, but is like, but I can play on it when I want to, but I don't even need to bring it in a case. I can just put it down when I'm done or whatever. Yeah, because like even at the club, right, there's like some people who just bring their ukes, like carrying their ukes in without a case too, and they just like, I'll just put it on the floor or put it down or whatever.
I guess just be aware that like, if you bring your ukulele, bring something that you don't mind getting scratched and stuff. Like sometimes for some people that's their that's their really nice ukulele. They're like, I don't care if this gets scratched, I play it all the time anyway or whatever. And see, it's not even you. Like, you could be super duper careful, but somebody who's like, I like try your ukulele, and then like they grab it and just one freak accident later, you just never know, So don't cry too hard if something happens to your ukulele, because you're taking it outside of your protective home. Anything can happen. Just be prepared for that.
Or if you feel like, okay, I gotta play it and then I gotta put it in my case right away or something, it's like, you might Genevieve pointed out like you might want to bring snacks because you might not want to miss something, right? You don't want to stand.
That's true. That's a good. See, I know Genevieve is like an experienced festival goer and stuff. Like snacks is a great idea. Water and snacks. I mean, like, but that's just essentials for anything, right?
Yeah.
If you're going to anywhere for like a long period of time, because I'm guessing you want to enjoy the whole festival from like the beginning to end. You know.
I was thinking like that same thing applies though to your uke, where it's like if it's a really nice uke that you want to keep in your case, but like every time like somebody starts jamming, you got to take it out of the case and then you put it back in or whatever. Is like that's probably like something you might experience, and then you'll figure out like, oh, next year I'm gonna bring a beater uke so I can just carry it around and play it and not.
That's the first advice that I give, because whenever I travel, I carry around like a tank of a case, and it's like so heavy. So sometimes I'm like, man, I wish I didn't have this and I could just enjoy the festival and walk around like, like worry
if you
free.
were attending the festival.
If I was attending the festival.
Yeah.
Either that or just bring like a beater soprano ukulele, like just so that it's small enough and I don't got to worry about it being too big, so that it's like it's a hassle. Like if I'm gonna have like say lunch with my friends, and if the case is small enough, then I can just stash it somewhere. But if I don't have a case for it, I can just put it on the table, like if for eating somewhere, not a big deal, And if it gets like banged up or scuffed up or whatever, then I don't mind. So that's what I would do. I'd bring like a beater uke.
Honestly, I kind of feel like, and if you're thinking you're going to bring your uke so you can like hand it to people so they can try and stuff like that, I think people are way more, or they want to play like the tiny uke that Aaron has, like when we go places, people want to try that.
Yeah, I brought it yesterday.
That's fun.
Yeah. And I usually, like when we travel to go to festivals, I usually bring it mainly because I usually bring my guitar, and I don't want to bring a guitar and an ukulele. And that one I can just stick in my pocket or like throw it in my satchel, But so I bring that too. Also, like maybe if it's not an expensive ukulele, maybe bring one of your more interesting ukuleles.
Yeah, that's true.
That sparks conversation. Like that's sort of the reason why I bring that one too, is because everybody stops me and it's like,
oh, what is that?
Even they want to try it, and I'm totally willing to let them try it and like try to put their fingers on, because it's a playable tiny ukulele. So people get a kick out of that.
Yeah, I can't remember it might have been Denver or San Francisco, but I remember one where it's like people came up and they're like, oh my gosh, that tiny ukulele. And it's like family members of the person who's like there for ukulele. So they don't even know. And they're like, can I like take a picture of this or something? Right. Like, so they don't even know how to play it, but they just want to like hold it or do something with it too.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like expensive ukes, it is cool, but for me, like I might try it, but I'll be like, but I'm trying to be careful with this, and I don't really want to play it too hard or anything. So I'll do a little bit, but then hand it back to you right away.
Yeah. And then we've been in like Indiana, for the festival, the Brown County Ukulele Festival, and I noticed that a lot of people had that outdoor ukulele, which is like an all plastic ukulele.
You just bang it out.
And so they were having a blast, drinking beers. And
that's true, because
like spills on.
Sometimes it gets like debauchery starts to happen at those things, like at those festivals, and you just never know if your expensive koa ukulele you bought for $10,000, $20,000, whatever, gets beer spilled on it.
I noticed there were quite a few of those outdoor ukuleles there, and people are proud of them too. Like they liked how they sounded for what it is, and.
Yoda is Yoda said that the fluke is a tank, and then Bada Sam is talking about like the fluke too. But like that's another thing because of its shape, right? Like I think I've seen you carry around the fluke, and people come up to you, Aaron, and be like, "What is that?"
And it's like a built-in stand too. So like if you're gonna go eat somewhere, just like put it down,
Yeah, that's another one. I guess like. Just in general, like your most interesting ukulele.
Nice.
I think people might think like, oh, this ukulele that has like inlays and it's really nice, the nicest coal wood or something. Is like people will be like, oh, that's really nice, but like it is kind of those things where it's like this ukulele is made out of plastic, and people will be like, I've never tried an ukulele made out of
Yeah.
plastic before.
Yeah.
Or have you
Right.
seen an ukulele this tiny before? Like, I've never tried one.
Imagine being the person like who brought like your most expensive like $20,000 ukulele and whatever, like with like all these, you know, like all these inlays and
Accoutrements.
stuff, you know, and people are like, oh man, that's awesome. And then here comes like this plastic ukulele, and people are like, oh, check out that one, you know,
Yeah.
and that one becomes the belle of the ball.
And that's the thing.
Unfortunately.
If somebody has a really expensive ukulele,
Yeah.
you don't want to try
Yes,
it.
yeah, I was
You-
just gonna
you won't
say that.
ask
Yeah.
them like, can I try that? Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
'cause-
Or-
some people are
Right.
nice enough to do that.
Because
but-
like I have my ukulele like even at like our school, you know, the
Yeah.
AG Ukulele Academy. I'm like, oh, if anyone wants to try this uke, like you can. And people are like, oh, I don't even want to, I
Yeah.
don't even want to touch it, you know, or whatever. But like honestly, like I keep telling them like I've been everywhere with this thing. I take this thing, you know, anywhere I go, I take this to a bunch of different countries and whatever. It gets banged up all the time. Just me playing it gets banged up all
Yeah.
the time. So you couldn't do more damage than I do with it, as long as you're not actively like trying to break it. Like
Yeah.
it's fine, you know.
I also saw, like, I see people who bring ukes that they have signed by people, right? And I think that's also like something cool because
That's a fun one, yeah.
they have a story attached to it. So when they're playing it or when they let somebody else play it, they can say like, yeah, you see that signature? That's like I had Jake sign it
Yeah,
too, or
yeah.
I had this too, right?
One thing that I do at festivals, especially ones that you know that I play for, I buy the festival poster or figure out like how to get a hold of the festival poster
Yeah.
and try to like you know find all the artists playing at that festival and get him to sign my poster. You know, because I think those are like some like raffle like prizes for some festivals, but you don't necessarily need like the official poster. And people are so approachable that you can just go to an artist and
Yeah.
get it signed and stuff.
Yeah.
Like you could even print out like your own thing and then just have them sign that, you know, just
Yeah.
have maybe like a nice printing of something, you know, like what is like a size of 12 by 8, you know, like of something, and then have all the artists sign that, like a little mini poster. You can frame it, put it at your house.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. So I like doing that. You guys can do that too.
Like something I just thought of too is like if you're going to a festival to like network and talk to people, and you know, and we've like gone and we've talked to people and they've handed me business cards and it's like, oh, thank you, you know, or like I do appreciate it. But I think what's much more memorable is like when somebody hands you a sticker, and it's like that kind of, if you're going to the festival and you're thinking like, I want something to give to somebody to like make that connection, like stickers or like little things like that that you can just carry in your pocket is like, if you give me a sticker, I feel like I'll remember like, oh yeah, I remember that person way more.
I mean, like even if it's a person I already know, like Russ was here last week, you know, and
Yeah.
he gave us the
stickers.
sticker of like Russ Bus and Grumpy Coyote.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome AI sticker, so
Yeah.
good. Another thing, which you know goes without saying, I feel like, but we kind of have to put it in the list, is a fully charged phone. You know, you don't want to go in there and you're like, oh, I want to take a picture with somebody, and you don't have the juice for it, or you want to take a video or whatever. You want to make sure that you always have a way to like take some kind of picture or take some kind of video, because you never know when you're gonna need it. So charge your phones.
Yeah. I think another thing is like if you're sensitive to like loud sounds and stuff, like if it's like small group jamming, it's not gonna be that bad. But if there's like
Earplugs.
yeah, or if you know that you can't go to like really loud concerts, like usually performances won't be that bad. But when they do like the whole like if they do okay, everybody in the festival, we're all gonna play the same song at the same time, and you're in the middle of it, is like, oh yeah, I can get kind of loud, so you might want to wear hearing protection or something.
Yeah, so those are our answers on what to bring to festivals. But well, you know, there's other stuff too. Like we did say food and water, snacks and water. You know, some kind of water. Because,
I think
it's sometimes drinks can get kind of expensive at those things. So
yeah. I think what you said though, like just a good attitude is like
that's the most important. I think you got to go there with a good attitude, with just have a good time. Really, just go in there like wanting to have a good time instead of like, oh, I have this expectation and this. Like, no, just have fun. Just have fun.
Yeah, I think that's the thing is like just most people at ukulele festivals are really like crews, and they're just really relaxed, and they're there to have fun, hang out with friends and stuff. So if that's all you're hoping for, like that, you'll probably accomplish that. That's it. That's great.
Okay, next.
Okay, this is pretty specific.
Okay.
But Oris said, what scale is G, A, C, D, E, G, C in the form of a pentatonic? Is it a mode or Dorian?
G, A, C. Oh, yeah, it's a...
Here, let me...
I mean... So let's see. Let's see. So G, A, C, D, E, G, C... Or is that like a tuning? I mean, like,
because then you went past the G
you went past
already.
the G. A scale would be just from that note to that note at the top. You know, is it a form of pentatonic? No, because penta is 5. Yeah, which means you would have 5 notes. But then again, you know, you have 2 G's,
from
so
the
G and then
G
A.
to the G.
Yeah, so
let's take it like G to G. What is that then?
So C, D, E, G, A would, you know, I mean, I guess if you just took the rest of the doubles out of there and put it in order, it would be a pentatonic scale, not an A, you know. It would be in because in the key of A, you would have a C sharp, you would have an F sharp, you have a G sharp. So that's not an A, you know. It could be maybe A minor, like pentatonic. Is it a mode? Pentatonic's not a mode. If once again, penta was just 5, but a full minor scale mode even would require 7 notes still. Dorian is it would be D, but that would still start and end in a D. So I mean, it's my initial is that is nothing. Yeah, like that right there is like is really nothing. That by itself, this right here, that grouping, yes, like G, A, C, D, E, G, C is really nothing from what I can see.
Yeah. But for all of those things, there are formulas that you follow in order to figure out that, right? So if you start with the key and you say pentatonic, then you can figure that out, right?
Okay, well, I'm trying to see like what it would be on, like, on the key of G, because if we took the C outs, of the last one, so we have G, A, B, D. So yeah, G, A, B, E, G, D, E, G. So it's not even that either. So that G, A. Because there's no C there.
Yeah. So take out the C.
Yeah, take out the C's. If you took the C's out, if you took the C's out, there would be a G pentatonic. Yeah.
But then
G pentatonic.
You also put in a B too, right?
Yeah, that's right. No, yeah, there's no, there's no B. Oh yeah, there's a B. G, A, B. Yeah, and then then D, E, G. Yeah, so it's not even a G. Where did you find this? It's just like, I'm gonna ask him this question. Just typed out a random
so
7
there's a
8,
formula to figure out the pentatonic scale of any key. So you just choose a key and use the formula, and you figure it out.
It's like 1, 2, 3, 5, 6.
Yeah, and then the same thing with any mode. You choose a key and choose the mode of that key.
Yes.
And there's a formula to figure out that. So
it's
maybe go about it in that way.
Instead of
choosing notes.
Here's some notes. What are these notes? Like, tell me, please. It's
kind of like how we talk to Abe. Like what can you do a weird time signature? It's like that time signature. You're just putting numbers together.
It's probably random numbers, Aldrine.
Yeah.
It's over 13. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah, I think like with
42 over 78. Like you're just choosing numbers. You're not thinking about it
Yeah.
musically.
it kind of does seem like maybe they like played notes, like they're playing along to something and they realized that those notes like sounded good, so they wanted like, what do I call this when I play these things?
Yeah,
Like,
what
does
is
it,
this?
what is
Yeah,
it?
so it probably came from that
Yeah.
standpoint.
And
Yeah,
so-
right there, he said, I was playing around with a pentatonic A and used it as a fill. So
I mean, if like a minor pentatonic, because a pentatonic is different. Pentatonic A and a minor pentatonic is two different things.
Yeah, can you show that?
Yeah. So an A pentatonic, so 1, 2, 3, yeah, and then 5, 6. So, because it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That's a minor
That's
pentatonic.
A major.
Major.
So,
okay,
so that would be your A pentatonic.
Uh-huh.
So that is an A pentatonic B. A, B, C sharp, E, F sharp.
okay,
That is the A major pentatonic. And a minor pentatonic is so A, B, C, D, E. Oh, I guess with G. So A, C, D, E, G, E, D, C, A.
okay, yeah. Yeah, so I'm guessing, yeah, if he used other notes, it wouldn't be a pentatonic
Yeah,
scale.
so A,
You're
C,
like
D,
using
E,
things
G.
to.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you put B in there. Oh no,
No.
he didn't have B.
No.
In
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah. So
So he
Get
just
C.
he just added a few notes.
a few notes on
into
top of
it,
that.
so-
Yeah. So it's not a scale just because you're playing like whatever notes in there. There's gotta be like some.
Yeah.
You gotta follow some kind of rule. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. Or that wouldn't that just be part of like
Whatever.
notes that are part of the A minor scale? then?
A minor pentatonic. Yes.
or not
Yes.
not necessarily pentatonic because some of those
Yeah,
notes
A minor.
don't fall
Yeah, it
into
could be
it.
A minor
Yeah.
scale. A minor is just
Yeah,
A,
just
B,
the
C, D, E,
regular
F,
A
G,
minor
A.
scale.
Yeah.
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 And I think that's like what happens is that like some people try and do stuff and they hear that other people like will say like, oh, this is called a pentatonic, or this is called like even terms like
Yeah.
double stop and stuff like that. And then so they try to define whatever they're playing as like, oh, I am doing
Or is it Dorian? You know what I mean?
I'm doing
Like,
a super
throwing stuff,
mixolydian double stop scale exercise or
super
something.
duper mixolydian guy.
Because like even one of our members was like, "What is this?" He calls it like I forget what it like what phrasing they use. And then when I watched the video, it's like that guy is playing chords and he's arpeggiating the chords. That's like all he's doing. But because they use like really long terms and they make it sound complex,
Yeah.
people are like, "Oh, that must be like a crazy hard technique or something," right? But it's like those terms and stuff, you can define things as easy as like, these are like notes that are in the key of A, and I just play them because they sound good. Or
it's
whatever.
obviously in the key of of some kind of G or C because there's no F in there.
Yeah,
so
so
it's
you
undefined. You
wouldn't be
couldn't
able
have an F
to
sharp
tell. Yeah.
or
Yeah.
and there's no sharps or flats at all, so it could be C as well.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. So it would depend on like what the chords of the song are.
Yeah,
that you're
yeah,
playing
yeah.
the riff
Yeah.
over.
So yeah, and then it's just like,
because there's no B, it could be F also because B flat is because B is undefined.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. I kind of feel like instead of like trying to figure out, because like even all these terms and stuff, it's usually used for when you're explaining like music or when you're talking to somebody else to explain music. But if you're trying to figure it out for yourself, then it's like you don't need to feel like I have to define exactly what this is.
This reminds me of like, I'm not gonna call that person out, but when we first started Ukulele Underground, they're like, oh, this is the, like I like this Hawaiian name because it sounds super Hawaiian, but it had like the letter C in it and the letter B in it, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I don't know like how to tell this person, but there's no C or B in the Hawaiian language, you know?
Yeah.
So, but they're like, oh, it sounds so, like it just, when I say it out loud, it's just, it just speaks to me because it's a Hawaiian
but
word.
yeah, which is fine.
Yeah, well, you can, because Nintendo is a made up word or whatever. It's not a word, and or Sega or any of the company and stuff. So if you're gonna name something whatever, then you can name it whatever you want. You know?
Yeah. So possibly you could name this as your own scale.
Your own whatever. Yeah, so you can call it whatever.
Depending on,
I was thinking about it today too when we did live coaching, and you're helping one of our members about learning the scale and learning more notes up and down the fret. And it's that's the thing too, is talking about modes and stuff too, right? Is one of the best ukulele players on Kauai. I don't think he knows what modes are. Or if you tell him hey, can you play this is in the key of C, but can you play a Dorian mode over it or a G mode over it? He won't know. And he might even, if it's in the key of C, he might play the C, or how do I say this? He might play the G major scale over the key of C, but he'll just make it work anyways. And it's just
even though he's playing that F sharp.
Yeah, it's just oh, okay. I just know that when I hit this note, I'll slide it over, or I'll do something else to it, or I'll make it work.
You can just say Kyle if you want to say Kyle. Nah, it's not Kyle. Say Kyle Farouche if you want to talk about Kyle Farouche.
I love him too much, It's I don't want other people to find out about him and be like, oh, this Kyle guy, I want to keep him a local secret. He's close to me.
Kyle guy playing F sharps over a C major scale. I don't know. But he makes it work though.
By the way, Kyle played. He was the opening act for the ukulele festival yesterday. Yeah.
Killed it. Great job. He's usually playing guitar nowadays when he plays his gigs, but he played an all ukulele set yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Amazing. He played original. That's right. I just realized you weren't there, guy.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, all good. You're busy? Justin?
No.
You and Justin were like, I don't want to go to that festival.
Yeah. And then also, we haven't been having the greatest weather on Kauai.
That's true. Yeah. Kind of going.
It was storming. Yeah, Brother Sam said, usually, when we were talking about festivals, usually you bring sunscreen to a festival, but on Kauai, you bring raincoats.
That is...
This particular one, specifically.
Just on the...
Because it did storm. We were like, oh no, we're not gonna get anybody in this storm and stuff. But hot dang, it was so packed at that mall. I've never seen that mall so packed in the recent 10 years, plus years. That was the most people I saw at the center stage of that mall in a long time. And I've been there for a bunch of different festivals and happenings and stuff. I was even there for Halloween and Easter. You would think that that would be pretty full, but it was not as full as it was yesterday. Yesterday, you couldn't find a seat. Most of the wall space that you could lean back behind was taken. People were including us, were hanging in front of food establishments like L&L, on their on the glass wall, wall going to eateries. It was kind of insane, man. It was What'd you end up doing yesterday, Kahai?
Just hanging out with my family, but it's
I thought you and Justin had a hugging contest where you both always win.
How did you find out about that? That's supposed to be a secret.
Oh, I win this round.
Justin, did you leak it out? How did he find out?
Oh, dude, he put it on Instagram. He shared on Instagram. Yeah, I saw it on IG.
It was supposed to be it's live stream just for our archive only. Not supposed to be known.
It was in Bob's Burgers, Andy and Ollie. I love you more, Andy. I love you more, Ollie.
If I die, I want you to eat me. Or something like that.
I can see you, Justin. I mean, the Andy and Ollie. It's voiced by like the Silverman sisters. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
so awesome.
You would think, and they sound so. I mean, they're supposed to be twins, right?
Yeah.
So you would think it was just one person, but they actually got the two of them.
Yeah,
to voice each of
that's
them.
pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
All right, next question.
Yeah, Kristen Sue asked, are there advantages to string through bridges? Is it any harder to change strings, especially if the sound hole is offset?
Is there any advantages to string through the bridge, like a bridge pins? You know, like going down versus
like the ones that are
You gotta go.
you put like a bead on the end and it goes through. Yeah, it's just a hole in the bridge through from the bottom.
I mean, not any more than like a regular what you call it? Like bridge pins kind of thing. It's going the same, the same way. So when you do it that way, what you're doing is you're directing like all that tension and that and the string towards using the body as kind of grip, as holding on. A lot of the times when we do like the tie bar bridges, where you're tying it around the bridge, then that stress is on the bridge instead, and that's why a lot of times you get that the popping bridge or whatever, right? Because all that stress is just pulling on just the bridge. But if it goes through into the soundboard, you're actually using the soundboard and the bridge as as that's where that tension is going. So that's kind of the advantage. Other than that, not really. But there's some advantages to tie bar bridges as well. I feel like tie bar bridges are easier to set up as far as like balance of a pickup and just having the pickup picking up all the vibrations, because all that vibration is mainly coming off of your bridge rather than it using your soundboard. Okay, and that's been kind of my my issue with using pickups, let's say like on kanile ukuleles. It's just the balance issue. I feel like I'm not 100% sure, but I feel like it's stemming from that, because I have done like my other ukuleles like Kamaka and Koloa and stuff that I have, where it's like the tie bar bridges, and those ones for some reason I don't have as much problem setting the balance on those than I do with my kanileas. And since I play kanilea, which means that's just my cross to bear by choosing this one. But that's not a problem for most people, because most people don't really care about
Balance on their pickups.
Yeah, and that it has to be exactly perfect. I do. I'm kind of a stickler for that. So that's it. That's the advantage. I feel like it's directing it through rather than using tying it to the tie bar bridge to pull. That's it. So either beaded or or the bridge pins, it kind of works the same way. The bead just helps it so that it doesn't pop out, and the bridge pins just do the same thing. It prevents it from popping out.
Yeah, or it just directs the amount of tension pulling on the bridge.
Because you're tying a knot, and then you're directing it down, and then the bridge pin just holds that in place. But so it's still kind of like the bead, where it's it's pulling off of that. So it's the same
I
kind
feel
of thing
like
anyway.
The through bridges, it's like there's basically no way that your bridge is gonna pop off.
Yeah,
because it's it's
through the sound hole.
It's
not sound hole, but the
it's
soundboard.
Basically pulling the top of your ukulele closer to the bridge,
But it might. What is the opposite? I can't think of the word, but
plug.
it's like what?
The plug is making noise because it's not all the way in.
Sorry. So, what is? I'm trying to think of the word. The opposite of bowing. So bowing is like this way. It might because it's tied to the soundboard. It might warp the soundboard up that way as well. So it's not gonna pull on the bridge. The bridge's not gonna pop out, but the soundboard might pop up. And that might cause a little bit of intonation stuff. I've seen that happen.
Yeah, but that I think that might happen either way.
I guess so.
Because it usually bows up behind the bridge and then closer to the
that's true. That's true. Because if the bridge is popping up, then it's gonna pop up anyway. You're right. Yeah.
But some people say that it is harder to restring with the through
Yeah,
bridge.
it's not. They're not lying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's
and
definitely easier to use a tie bar bridge
Yeah.
to string your instrument.
And Chris and Sood, like their point was like, especially if the sound hole is offset, then it is
it's
harder.
difficult. It's difficult because you gotta have to go through the sound hole to like. To
So
bring it up.
so usually what you do to change your strings is like you stick your string into the hole from
and just
the
grab
face
it,
side, and then kind of guide it through and from
take it out of the
from your
sound hole, tie a knot, and then pull it out, or put the bead on it, or whatever it is that you're gonna do.
So actually,
pull it out.
like one trick with that is to like run your fingernail over the string so that it curves, it curls, and then you can angle it so that
when you put it in, it'll
curl
it'll be
towards
easier for you
your
to fish it out.
Yeah. But then from there you have to tie the bead onto it and then like string it through.
Yeah,
So-
string it out.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've seen them. I can see that like, for the structural integrity it might help, but it does seem like a little bit of a hassle.
Right,
to
because it's the
change
same.
strings.
If you took out the bridge pins, like there's a hole, but there's also like a tiny like slit.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
like where that would be on a like on a pinless. You know, like,
Yeah.
To try and like
Yeah.
it guides the string, right? Like in the direction
Yeah.
that you're
So
pulling
same
it.
thing.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's the advantage of that is just not having to deal with bridge pins. But the bridge pins kind of keep it more secure.
Yeah. And then it's like tricky. It's like it is more difficult to change strings, but it's kind of like how much times are you going to change the strings? And it's
It depends on how often you change your string.
and I'm sure it's like anything, when you get used to it, and like Aaron said, you'll find tricks to like make it easier as you do it more and more.
It
so.
does look cleaner. I
Yes,
kind of like how
I love
how
the
it
look.
looks.
Yeah, I love the look.
Yeah.
I love the look.
Yeah.
But I think then again, it depends what kind of bridge pins you're using. Sometimes some bridge pins looking pretty like
Yeah.
like
You
a
can bling
snack.
it out. You can bling it out using the bridge pins.
It's pretty cool, So
So
don't
like,
know.
PT Rarch said it's not just mechanical. Better transfer of resonance equals sound.
yeah, that's kind of what I was saying. It's transferring to the soundboard rather than like just to the bridge,
Yeah.
right?
It's kind of like
But I don't know. Also,
There's-
could be debated.
Yeah.
So,
there's so many there's so many other factors when
Yeah.
you're making an ukulele, right? It's hard to say if like that was the defining factor that made that ukulele better than A, better than B, or whatever.
because also like the height of the bridge itself would probably lend more
Yeah, that's true.
to
To the
resonance
sound, to the
than,
soundboard.
than the method
Yeah.
of tying it. So you could debate that.
I've always wanted like fancy schmancy like bridge pins. I've tried those brass ones, but like people swore by them. Horrible. I didn't like them. Like a lot of people are like, what? Like, like I put it on mine, it sounds fine. I'm like, that's great that it sounds great on yours. It didn't sound good on mine, And I put it on multiple ukuleles. Didn't really like it. But I was like, there's 4. Maybe I can put ALDY. It's like an LD, like I kind of just wanted to spell like my, because I look at Steve Vai's guitar, and he names his guitars, So he puts the name on the says there's 6 strings on the guitar, and he has one thing for every 2 strings, like to tie it to, right? On the electric guitar. So there's 3 of those, and he puts the name of the guitar on the bridge. If it's Flow or if it's Evo, he has Flow the guitar and Evo the guitar. So it's like he knows which one, and he tells his he tells his roadies like pass me Flow or pass me Evo, and that's how like it's on there. I'm like, I kind of want pretty cool. Or just like maybe my initials in the middle too, and like the outside one is just abalone or whatever. Pretty just saying, you guys can take these ideas. That's cool. So next time I go to a festival and I check this out, I'll just like, oh snap, you did it!
Bridge pins,
bridge pin bling.
Yeah, kind of like how they have those things for your Crocs.
yeah, bling pins. bling pin. Oh, nobody steal that.
That's, next year at NAM, you're gonna
next year now, bling pins,
bling
baby.
pins.
Yeah, I could just have like letters, that you can buy some bling pins. Oh. Why did we say it publicly on a podcast? Ah, dang it.
No backsies. This is a live
backsies.
stream.
Yeah, whatever. I just want to see it made. If anybody wants to do that, I bet you'd make, I don't know, a few $100.
Yeah,
It's not $1 million.
It might break even.
Yeah, it might break even.
Chris and Sue said, if you have bridge pins, are those hard to pull out to change strings?
I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes, like it's good to just have a tool to do it. It's not hard, but it is hard if you're just doing it by hand. Because sometimes you press it down too hard and stuff, and it's just kind of hard to pull out. Yes, not gonna lie.
Well, when you put in the bridge pin, you want it to be like seated enough, and if you pull the string, like sometimes it'll come back out too.
Yeah.
So you just want to make sure it's kind of like tuck, like it'll like slip in.
It's secure. One trick that I do like to do, and I can share with you folks. I release the string from here, right, and so I have this loose string. I tie that string around the bridge pin, and I just pull so that it naturally pulls it out. Either that, or I tie it and then use that to pull it out. Use the string to pull it out. That's what I like to do. If I don't have the tool, but I usually have the tool.
You can do that. Yeah.
I just put like a towel over my pins, and then I use needle nose pliers, and then you just grab it and pull.
Yeah, it's still a tool.
Yeah, or that's what I'm saying. Like if
you don't have to have a specialty tool.
Oh yeah. Because I just meant any tool to do that.
Because if you're like worried about like the pliers damaging, if you have nice bridge pins, like just do that, and then it's like it won't leave a mark or anything.
You mean bling pins?
Yeah. Does Dario still have that string winder bridge?
Oh
pin
yeah,
I think they do. Yeah, I have one. I love that thing.
Yeah, and I think a lot of string winders, when you get them, they'll have that like indentation. It looks like a kind of like a hole in the winder itself, and you just use that as leverage.
Yep.
So
it's called the Pro Winder.
The Pro Winder, it's like a string winder. It's a bridge pin popper thing. It's also a wire cutter. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I have one of those.
And it's TSA approved, I guess.
So they're not gonna stop you. Like, hey, what is this?
Yeah, because I've had like just in my guitar case, I've had like pliers or like
and people stopped you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So just to cut the guitar strings, right? But
I love that.
Yeah,
love that. Like that's a good tool. And is it pricey now?
It's like $10, $11.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Because sometimes like string winders themselves can go up to like $5, just a plastic ones,
Yeah.
Well, we got a fancy one from I'm kind of embarrassed that I forgot. We got a fancy schmancy one where like the handle is like maple. The guy who gave us or sold us the ukuleles.
Ritesh.
See, yes. Sorry, Ritesh. I was like, because I don't know. I'm blanking out. My brain's been fried all week, and I don't rest actually until Sunday this week. I've had 3 straight weeks of like doing something every single day.
Yeah.
Tomorrow I'm headed over to Oahu to spend some time with Craig and Sarah. Then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday we play shows. Friday is like triple job that I have, quadruple job if you count the meeting in the morning. Oh man, it's been tough, like physically and mentally. It's been like really like this is not for the weak, but I'm good. Yesterday was so much fun. It was tiring, but it actually re-energized me just seeing the response and seeing like how much support like from Kauai, that we got. I was just like this is it.
Yeah. Or there's definitely something here.
Right. Like we started building like a community here on Kauai, but like yesterday's event just like was, I feel like the official, like this is where it starts.
Yeah.
Like it's going to start
kind
now.
Starting of a new era.
Yes. We made,
Kauai.
It's kind of like the ribbon cutting like yesterday of like the new ukulele era on Kauai. Like, and people are now aware. We now know who the players are. We now know who the clubs are. We now know who I don't know who comes as support and who's interested. It was so much fun. Yesterday's event was definitely exceeded all my expectations. I was not expecting much, honestly, because I'm just like, okay, well, ukulele's been kind of non-existent on this island for a long time. I don't know who's who would go to something like this. Yeah, like we got Kalei and Corey, but like, do people watch like online stuff? Like, are people aware of who these guys are? Like, are they gonna like these guys? Do they just want to do like ukulele club stuff? Like, I was just not sure about a lot of different factors, but what I was sure of was that I was gonna have fun, because the way we set it up was kind of like, let's have fun, you know, like me and you, like, who knows ukulele, and the people, and even like just people in the clubs like are gonna be stoked, I think, but it was great. The mall was packed with people, and a lot of I walked around the mall, and a lot of the stores at the mall were closed. So it wasn't like the mall was bumping because
people were there
because of the storm. Because of the storm, like a bunch of stores were closed. So actually the only thing really happening at that mall was the festival. And it was like people were having a hard time finding parking, and I'm like, at Kukui Grove, are you serious?
That's the only place on Kauai that has parking.
Right? Almost always, because we used to call it Kukui Ghosts, because there's like nothing there, right?
Because people might be thinking like a mall and it's like a indoor mall, or like it's enclosed, but it's an outdoor mall. And so when it rains, it like shops do close down because like the rain can get in the shops too.
So it was. It exceeded all my expectations. I guess for the last 10 minutes, we can talk about the festival yesterday. So it started out with Kyle Ferruccio. He opened things up. And then Kimo Hussey. Like, what a way to open up, the festival. We got Kyle and Kimo Hussey. Ned Dana was playing with his bass player. So just right off the bat, it was like two killers, We're like, getting people pumped up and excited. And then people were pumped up and excited, like, the more the day went by, because there was a bunch of ukulele clubs there just antsy to, like, get up on stage, And,
we had Kapaa Middle School ukulele
Kapaa Middle
choir.
School. And then, then we had the ukulele clubs, and then me and Aaron went up, and then Kalei and Corey went up. And then Kalei and Corey were the headliners, and then Kimo Hussey did a jam afterwards. There were booths. Unfortunately, they had to separate the ukulele maker booths like to a different place, because they didn't want the ukuleles getting wet, like in the rain and stuff, or if there's mist kind of going around, excuse me. But there's like tons of different variety in the vendors also. You know what I mean? Like there's people like teaching like Hawaiian language. They were they did like a lot of cool like kids activities in Hawaiian, which is awesome. So the culture was definitely not ignored. There was Hawaiian culture there, and people the Kala Foundation and the Kanikapila Project, they definitely like showed up to educate people about like the Hawaiian culture, and not just the ukulele, but just Hawaiian culture as a whole. Talking to the guy from Kala, the Kala Foundation, Clint's, he was like, man, if it wasn't for this rain, they had all these things planned. They had like they were gonna teach people how to play konane, which is like the like Hawaiian checkers or chess and stuff. They were gonna do like all kinds of cool Hawaiian games on the side if if the weather was good. I'm like, it's unfortunate, but I love that they thought of everything that people would be interested in, and it's not just kind of, yes, it is a celebration of ukulele, but it's also a celebration of like Hawaiian culture. That was really cool. Hanalei Strings and Things was in the back. They were they did really well. I think they sold a bunch of ukuleles. They were like Hawaiian jewelry, like legit Niihau shellets. So that was like a thing that we talked with Clint with too, like from the Kala Foundation, where like people would just call it Niihau shellets, even though they found those shells from like
on the
here on Kauai or other islands. But it's Niihau shellets for a reason, because they're from Niihau. It could be the same shell, but you cannot call it Niihau shells, or you shouldn't, unless it comes from Niihau. Kind of like koa and acacia. And acacia is the same thing. We can't call it koa unless it comes from Hawaii. So they're trying to do that same movement because Niihau is so undisturbed that those shells, because the sand just kind of buffs them, and those beaches are undisturbed. So the buffing process of these shells make them look a lot more distinguishable and different than the shells in the other islands.
And less less warmed by the sun.
Yeah. So it's factors like that, and that was really cool. And then of course in the ukulele makers, Donaldson had a booth.
I don't think Brad.
He was just there. He was there,
and he had a couple of his ukuleles with him.
Yeah,
just to show people.
Yeah, there was Tomas ukulele. So Tom Braverman. He was there. There was also Pololu ukuleles. That was there.
Tahitian ukuleles.
And there's Tahitian ukuleles there as well. I got to try some of those. That's pretty cool. And then of course Anue Nue, because Kalei and Corey were there. Anue Nue had a booth, and that was fun, man. And I thought there wasn't going to be that much traffic, going to that separate side of the ukulele festival, but they said that the foot traffic was actually pretty good. People were going in and out and stuff. Yeah. So, and then they were holding like free ukulele lessons over at Bandwagon Music Center. It was just everything was planned out perfectly and executed perfectly by the team. I'm proud of the team that worked on that. Aaron and I helped out with the planning as far as the lineup and stuff like that. But everything else came together, and it was beautiful. Loved it. If there was a first time for a festival on Kauai, I think that's one of the most successful, even just events in general, that I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
So I'm stoked. I'm so stoked.
You would think with the rain, it's like. Yeah. Well, we planned all this stuff, but with the rain, it's like, it turned out this way. But it sounded like even if there wasn't rain, it would have been really good, and it worked out fine.
Yeah. So it was good. Families were there, because there's a bunch of clubs and stuff. And yes, most of them were seniors, but then there were some kids, that were there playing also. And of course, the middle school were there, the choir and band, and ukulele band. And also in our ukulele club has a bunch of kids in it, so it was cool, man. I was so happy. I was just kind of overfilled with joy yesterday that no matter how tired I was still just stoked to be there, to be a part of it, and proud to say that we had a hand in that happening. It was really cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so if you guys didn't come to Kauai yesterday, you guys missed out on some fun stuff. Just saying.
I think
this week, huh?
Love Boat Cruises said I'm planning for 2025 Ukulele Festival. Kauai.
Ooh, so okay, stoked. All right.
So,
all right, okay. I mean, we'll see. We'll let you know because I
nailed down the date.
Yeah, after this one, we'll get involved. I don't know at what capacity though, but we're definitely committed to making sure anything ukulele related on Kauai gets the attention that it deserves. Mm-hmm. So that's not what we're saying. We're not saying we're not going to be a part. No, we're going to try to, but who knows in a year. I don't even know what I'm doing next month, everybody. I don't know how next month is going to happen. Yeah.
The next month.
Yeah, right? I know where I'll be at the end of the month next month, which is at the Monopolele Ukulele Festival, Mediterranean Ukulele Fest, May 30th to June 2nd. I'm stoked. It's going to be in Monopoli over in Italy. There's myself, there's Kathy Fink, Marcy Markser, there's Evan J. De Silva, there's Feng E, there's George Elms, there's Peter Moss, there's Jed Balak, there's Pisco, there's Symfonico Honolulu, there's Trio Mandili, there's V. There's Victor Joffre. Awesome stuff. Great lineup. Yeah. And it's just going to be a ton of fun. I'm doing a workshop. It's my second time doing this workshop. I loved it so much the first time that I did it. It's because I usually just do because beginners and advanced people would all go to my workshop no matter how advanced it is because they just want to see me in person do a workshop. But I always feel bad if things get too complicated or if things are too easy, because people are I want to see Aldrine kind of teach more advanced, or I kind of want to see Aldrine teach a little bit more beginner. And I can't do both of those things in the same workshop. But this workshop that I'm doing, I'm basically breaking down my riffs that I wrote throughout the years, so things like Buttercup, loud phrases from the quiet type to things like Bandito Tyler, Senor Victor, the heist, and stuff like that. I'm breaking them down and kind of showing you where I came up with the ideas, how I came up with those ideas, and what kind of emotions I'm trying to convey, and it's basically songwriting, but it's like more riff writing to to songs. Yeah, because for me, I'm not a wordsmith like Aaron or my friend Daniel and stuff. I'm okay with words, but music is that's like something that I hear in my head, and it just makes sense. Like trying to paint with notes, basically, is what it is. I'm trying to create a painting. So I'm doing that workshop and kind of showing you folks my what kind of easels I use for that painting. What kind of colors like you can paint with, what kind of colors you can combine to paint like certain things. And yes, like you will learn like some riffs from those songs, because I'm going to highlight some of those riffs, and I'm going to show you what those riffs mean in the context of the song, how how I came up with it, and and how to play it. So you'll learn some Aldrine Guerrero riffs while learning the history behind the song and how it fits there. So it's super fun. I've been loving that, like, and super excited to put that one down together again. I did it last year at the Seattle Uke Fest, or Seattle Aloha Festival, Live Aloha, and there wasn't that much people at that particular workshop, but I felt like, because people didn't really know what it was, so if people know what it is this time, I think the workshop to check out, if you're gonna check out that one. Super proud of like how that one's gonna turn out.
Sounds cool.
Yeah.
Are you gonna like incorporate some of the stuff that you've been working on with like I guess it's not really you're writing it, but is there like some differences with working with the jazz bands?
I'm not gonna go into that, because that's more just like arranging it for a big band. It's more just like taking them like back in time. Yeah, like this was where my mindset was when I wrote this, and this is why like I did that. I was like, for example, just to give you guys like a little sample, a moose bouche, if you would, the riff for Buttercup, one of the first songs I ever recorded, goes something like this. So you learn that riff, on the workshop, and I break it down, like why did I pick those notes, and what why did it how did I come to that to that conclusion of using that as the riff. The first lyrics being "Tears from my eyes are unstoppable." And then the first lyrics to the second verse is, "Yesterday's rain is in my eyes." Crying, always crying. Little emo Aldrine, And so I was like thinking of rain, like raindrops, and like sad raindrops, and some melancholy raindrops, So I like the when we play major 7 chords, we are playing the we're playing the root of that chord, but also like a half step down from that root to create the major 7. So this has always fascinated me, because it's like, that sounds so bad when you play it together, but when you play it in the context of a major 7, it sounds so good. So I'm like, why don't I spell that? And then I'm like, okay, so instead of landing on that, because going from, it's so common. That's like the 7 wanting to go to the 8 or to the 1, wanting to resolve. It's so common. What if I went back to the 7? So that's, and then if I keep that continuous, if I play it, and I keep that like that kind of rhythm, it represents that kind of raindrops that I'm trying to that I'm trying to convey. So it's things like that I'll be doing on the workshop. So if you guys are headed to Italy, I'm going to be doing that workshop at the Monopolele Ukulele Festival. So come down, and if that doesn't convince you, like, oh snap, I got to go to that workshop now. Boom, book your flights to Italy and check it out, because you'll be hanging out with not just me, but Aaron the Voice, maybe, me, Aaron the Voice, will toast with you on some vino. Dude, and table wine there, so good.
And I might bring the tiny ukulele.
Oh, like, Aaron, I get to play the tiny uke. Book my flight to Italy now. So it's gonna be awesome. I'm looking forward to doing that. And if I have to do a workshop in at the LA Uke Fest, maybe I'll do that one also, because I'm all in for that workshop now. It's just something that I enjoy doing, and I think beginners and intermediate people can learn a thing or two. Even if you don't learn the riff, then you'll at least know why, and just kind of have an insight on like how my brain works when coming up with some melody lines.
Or have an idea of what if you want to get into songwriting.
Yes. It's riff writing with Aldrine.
I think that is like kind of the big thing is like people think to be a songwriter, I got to write the whole song. But sometimes it just starts with a riff, right? And it's like, yeah.
Sometimes there's like terrible lyrics, but great music to like the songs, which is 90% of of my library. We're like, man, a riff is great, but goddamn, I wish like he wrote better, but at the same time, like it's still 100% me. Like I wrote those lyrics and I wrote that riff. It's still a representation of me as a musician. That's why no matter if I don't, if I'm not quite there lyrically, but it's still a representation of me as an individual or as a painter, if you would, right? Kai? It's an artist.
I think there's that quote. I forget who said it, but it's like from a famous like musical composer, and they said like words are what you use to think about things, and music is what you use to feel about things. So like
cool.
musical composition combined together with both words and music is like so you can feel the words, right? You're not just like thinking about the words, or you're not just feeling the music, but you're doing both. And I think when you put that much like thought behind why your music composition should be that way, is like you end up making something that has like a lot of feeling behind it too.
Yeah, so I'm stoked to be doing that, and actually when you explain it that way, that's why like our band one time worked so well, because like it wasn't just me, it was like myself and Ryan and Mike and Mark and stuff, like trying to arrange Daniel's stuff, because Daniel's such a great like wordsmith, like making lyrics and stuff, and then he would give us the lyrics and the bare bones of the song, and we just come up with with the music that goes with it, and it's awesome. It's awesome. We created magic every time. All right, so
Bernie and Elton.
yeah, it's exactly that. So I miss like if it's one of those like, I wish it was 2003 all over again.
You know what I want you guys to do is like I want you to put on this workshop about like arranging, composing riffs and stuff like that. And I want Aaron to do a workshop on lyrics, and it's like the
people go to both workshops.
No, I want it to be at the same time, and and people think like, oh, they're gonna talk about the same songs, and then realize like halfway through, like, wait, they're talking about different songs. He's talking about like a riff from this song. He's talking about lyrics from a totally different thing. What's going on?
But yeah, it's that. I'm very excited to teach it. So just to kind of hype you guys up more for the festival. If the lineup didn't hype you up already, like that's something to add to the hype. Yeah, and I'm stoked. I'm stoked to be there. It's about a little over a month, and I'm excited. I need to start like doing some walking or running in the morning, just because like I need to get in shape for like a 20-hour flight or whatever, however long that flight is, man.
There's gonna be like other people doing workshops too and stuff, right?
Oh yeah. Of course. Yeah, that's just my workshop. So there's a bunch of people doing that also. Check out ukuleleunderground.com, and make sure to sign up for UU Plus. You can take your ukulele playing to that next level through some exclusive videos that we have there. You have a chance to attend a live coaching by yours truly. If you really need some personal help, we do that every week, 10 a.m. on Mondays. I'm here live answering any and all of your questions, and it's not like this podcast. It's like I see you. You can show me some stuff. You can ask me what you need to ask, and you'll get your answer right away. Okay. We also have a shop, shop.ukuleleunderground.com, shop.ukuleleunderground.com. How's that shirt, Aaron?
The tie-dye.
Somebody ratted out on us. I feel like someone ratted us out. Like someone ratted us out. We got a text this weekend. Someone ratted us out. Who was that? Who ratted us out, Kai?
But actually, when we announced it on Friday, I don't think it was set up properly, but it looks like everything's set up now. So,
oh yeah.
Yeah. So we had a few orders. So if you guys are interested,
there's a UU tie-dye shirt. If you guys are interested in tie-dye and Ukulele Underground, there's a UU tie-dye shirt. And the thing is, the UU, regardless of how small it is, actually embroidered. It's not like a silk printing, right? It's like an embroidered Ukulele Underground logo.
Yeah.
Sick.
Although I did have to approve the design
through the higher ups.
No, through the service that does it. So it doesn't really have that grass. Like in the logo, there's kind of the grass look because because it's small and embroidered.
Yeah.
So
we always had,
but it still looks good.
Yeah, good. As long as it looks good.
Yeah, and it's not just like flat embroidered. It's like raised, sort of raised.
Oh, cool.
So,
Cool. I like that.
So if that works, then we might reprint the hats.
Yeah.
Using
that's nice.
Using that same thing.
And we always wanted to do the hats, but I know the ones that we had before, we had problems with the embroidery.
Yeah.
So if it works out well, then
then we might be able to do it.
How about the KFC hats? Do we get approval for some KFC merch?
we gotta ask Kai. There's just a quick one. Victor in the chat said, do you ever do any virtual collaborations?
Not so much nowadays. Like I don't even post stuff from my own that much outside of Ukulele Underground, but I mean if it's interesting enough, I might do it. Because if it's like, I've always kind of wanted to do that song, and then I check out your page, it's like that's not somebody I would like to collaborate with, It's just that I just take on whatever project sounds the most fun nowadays, Instead of I was a YouTuber back in the day, so it was just kind of like, what song am I gonna put on this week or whatever or next week or whatever my schedule was back in the Ukulele Oversold days, But now it's just like I'll just do if it's fun, especially for ukulele, the play-alongs here on Ukulele Underground. It's like, that song sounds fun. Like now
we've been just doing whatever that.
Whatever fun songs that we want to do. So and it's been good because it's it takes out the whole now I gotta make sure that I know all the lyrics and really learn this down, and then it doesn't come out as good because it sounds forced, it sounds like I'm forced. I'm sounding like I'm forced to learn this song in a week or two or whatever, and at least the songs that we're playing now are songs we've been playing for a long time, so they're polished, and I think it comes out a lot better.
That's the thing too with the newest solo that we just put out, with Bluey, right? It's you would think it's a kid's song, so it's make it easy so kids can learn, but then you just I'm gonna just make it a good arrangement. So
I love Keepy Uppy, but there's and then the Bluey one has it's kind of difficult.
The original is pretty complex too, so it's
So did not go easy on that one, and just making sure. But all you parents out there who are fans of Bluey and are advanced ukulele players, you can definitely learn the Bluey theme with a bonus of Keepy Uppy in there.
You said parents, but I would love even if kids want to give it a shot.
That's true too. That's true too. If you guys want to do that, it was a hit when I was teaching at an elementary school, and I had the little ones. Whenever I'd play the Bluey theme, they'd go with the mom, dad, bingo, Bluey. It's cool. It was my icebreaker for kids, playing the Bluey theme. So learn it over at Ukulele Underground. Anything else, guys? That came out today, right?
Well, the preview for it came out today, but then the play along and everything else, you can, if you're a UU Plus member, you can watch the play along from multiple angles, and then we broke it down into the Bluey intro song and then the Keepy Uppy part.
Okay,
so
cool.
You can slow it down, and tabs too.
So nice, deceivingly challenging, but really, really fun songs to play. I love playing those two. My kids love both those songs, and they like playing Keepy Uppy, the actual Keepy Uppy game, and recently just bought just like a
Balloon.
big bag of balloons. Just blow it up and just play keepy uppy with it. So pretty awesome. Yeah, with that said, we'll see you folks next time. See you on Friday for Aloha Friday Live Jam.
And then this Saturday.
And this Saturday, I'm playing with the KCC Jazz Band over at the Performing Arts Center. We're arranging a bunch of the Bandito Tyler themes. For big jazz bands. So we're doing Senor Victor, we're doing The Heist, we're doing Escape on Sugar, we're doing Dance with the Bandito, and I'm also performing some jazz classics with the jazz band, including Ran Can Can by Tito Puente. We're doing 25 or 624 by Chicago. We're doing Lullaby of Birdland with the high school band. I'm doing Misty with the high school band as well, and I think we're doing another one, Bites the Dust with the middle schoolers. It's gonna be super fun. I love just going off on one chord songs. Another one, Bites the Dust, is like one chord. So fun. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. I think
it's free.
Yeah, and it's free. Yeah. It's free, and it's like the first big events since the Performing Arts Center opened. So it actually starts Thursday. It's like a Thursday, Friday, and Saturday concert. Thursday, I think it's like the wind ensemble or symphonic, and then Friday is like the other the other one, because it's like the jazz. It's all jazz ensembles on Saturday, and I think the wind ensembles and just concert bands and stuff are on Friday. So, but just check the listing over the college if you're on the island of Kauai. But super fun. Sarah Tochiki is the band director. She did an awesome job at arranging the Bandito Tyler tunes. And she's also the band director for the middle school, and we have Daryl Miyasato for the Kauai High School jazz band. He's an amazing bass player, and looking forward to jamming with their band. So yeah, does it say? Okay.
I'm
Doesn't
looking it up. Yeah. And then I think I looked up like the actual KCC, what is it called? The Performing Arts Center.
Yeah.
But their website is a little old. So.
Yeah, it's new. They just opened that place up.
Reopened.
So, yeah. I posted something on my Instagram. I think either that or I'll post it again sometime this week though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
so
We'll see you
on Kauai.
We'll see you folks next time.
But like your website too.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'll just post the link.
Yeah, we'll see you folks next time. Have a great one. See you on Friday for Aloha Friday Live Jam, Saturday for that jazz show, and then that's it for me. I think next week is like a breathe easy week. I can just, my gosh, I don't know if you guys can tell. I'm trying like not to look so like tired and sleepy, but hot dang, like it's taken its toll. I've never been so busy. I was talking to my wife yesterday, and I was like, with ukulele on the ground and the tours and stuff, my life has always revolved around ukulele, but now it's like it's definitely revolving around, because outside of of working and doing that stuff, when I go home, it's like it's done, But now that like things are physical here, we're doing a lot of in-person things. It's like, it's not done. If we film say like Monday and Friday, and then we play on Wednesday, I touch my ukulele 3 times that week. You know what I mean?
Just baseline.
Yeah, just baseline 3 times that week. But it's like every day for like 3 weeks. Not complaining or anything, but hot dang, it's like it is a lot of mental stress, and I'm just trying to keep it together. Everybody, next week I'm gonna be in a better place. We'll see you folks next time. Have a great one. Enjoy yourself, and please take a mental health break sometime. Drink some water, go outside, touch some grass. Right, Kai?
Yep.
Yeah, and grab a friend, play the hugging contest.
Never let them go.
Never let them go. We love you. Bye.